That was Sean? I don't think so.
Yeah, him has one of those big trucks.
Okay, you could be right.
Don't.
I've been living tired, feeling I'm expired, looking for my great escape. It's a jungle.
Take a full video. The whole ride.
Whole ride? That'd be a long video.
Yeah.
This goes all over.
Yeah. I can't go on those after, okay?
We don't want to go on that.
No, they're
That one hurts to get her
Out there, fighting voices I can't wait too much about anyway. Well, maybe I should love today. I'm better when I celebrate. Growing up, it never felt so free. Come and dance with me, and I bet you'll see the sunshine in my face.
So yesterday I had electrician guy I know came over, and we went through all the wiring and everything else, and he tested this, tested that, and he couldn't figure out which thing was going to connect to what. This up here is, I believe, the controller box, and above that is the air conditioner. And what we figured out is, see where the yellow wire nut is? That is a red and white wire, and that makes the heat work, which we confirmed it works. It comes on, it makes heat, all that. But there was no way to control it. So I tried a couple other different ways, and it didn't go. So I went out this morning and I bought this relatively inexpensive thermometer, and I wired it to the red and the white wire. And now at least we can control the heat will go on and off. We can set the temperature, and that part is pretty much all set. We don't have to worry. I'm not sure. See, part of it is that in the back of this unit, let's see, that black right there is a telephone jack. So you could put a telephone wire in there, and now, let's see, this is the part that's supposed to go on the wall that controls it. And on the back of it, it has a telephone jack too. So we logically thought that if you connected the phone jack into there and into here, this would work. This is just like a receiver. It works off this remote control thing here. So did all that, got the cord, and nothing. So given the time of year, I'm not so concerned about the AC requirements, because it's getting to that time of year where it's going to be colder, not warmer. Now that we've at least got the heat, it just works off the propane. It's a relatively, I think, simple little furnace thing. And that's all set. So I'll deal with the AC part at another time, but right now we can control the heat. All's well in that department. There's a lot of learning that goes on, and when you get something new and somebody doesn't tell you, and you don't have anybody really that you're gonna be able to just say, hey, can you come over and look at this? And that's why I got the electrician. I figured he'd be able to figure out which wire, because there was like 8 wires that were unconnected, and we found the 2 that mattered the most. So we got that done. So that's finished. I'm not sure if it's going to be a rainy day. There's been no movement on the I just wrote to the lawyer and said, well, have the documents that need to be signed gone to Eleuthera? Hopefully we'll hear back on that. Nothing on the concrete man coming today or tomorrow, and the only thing I've been able to really do is I picked out the doors and windows with Sid. So the house has 19 windows and 3 doors. So that part's at least pretty much set, and it's about in the budget of where I put it in. So a little bit more. It would have been a lot more because we were going to have some different windows in the back side of the kitchen, and those were expensive. So we got the same size window. They're awning window, casement windows. So the window opens, like this out, because double hung windows in a kitchen, if you're, trying to reach across a counter and then you've got to stretch and raise the window, it really doesn't work. So we've got 3 of these double windows that'll go in the kitchen. So one will be centered over the sink, and then one on each side of the sink. And then in the front, there's 4 windows. So this kitchen is, 18 by 20, and we'll have 7 windows in it. So it will be very well lit, because once you get into winter and stuff, that gray that you saw in the beginning, there's a lot of that gray. So at least if the kitchen and the house is as light as it can get, I'm not so good with dark, so Sid isn't either, really. So little by little. I sent a letter to all the parties concerned, asking them if they had sent the documents to be signed from Nassau to Eleuthera, because that was supposed to happen last week or the week before. And so I get from the realtor secretary, no, nothing. Then I get from the lawyer, oh, I'm going to send them out today. Oh, great. Now I'm just getting a letter saying that the secretary is going to be out of the office. So I'm hoping they get them tomorrow. The lawyer said, oh, she had blah, blah last week. The excuses are like unbelievable. So now I'm hoping that if that document gets there tomorrow, I mean, why they can't just give it to our courier, put it on the plane, have somebody pick it up in Eleuthera is beyond me. We have to use DHL. Anyway, supposedly they're going to be there tomorrow, and then if they are, then I will make travel arrangements to go next week to sign these documents, and then we still have to wait for the central bank to say, oh, okay, yes, you can have your money in US dollars. I tell you, what a process.
Ain't going out of style when you see your smile.
So I heard from, well, because I prompted it, I wrote to the lawyer, said, can you, are the documents there in Eleuthera? Oh, no, excuse, I was busy last week, I had an emergency, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You don't have anybody else that could have done that. Anyway, supposedly she's going to send the documents today to get to Eleuthera tomorrow. Then I called the other lawyer for the land sale and said, are we there? Oh, no. But I said, well, I'm coming next week, hopefully. So can you make sure that the documents are at that lawyer's office so Sid and I can go in and sign those, and then at least that part is taken care of. So she wrote back and said yes. Now, I have not made reservations yet because until that document, the land one I'm not as concerned about. If they get it, great, wonderful, because we're still not getting paid for it right off. They still have this foolish thing with, if you buy a piece of land at one price and you sell it at a lower price, technically then that person would pay a stamp tax, the taxes on it at that lower price. But if the government deems that's too low a price, they can put the price back up and say, no, you have to pay stamp tax on this much. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But that's the land one. The house one, so if I get confirmation tomorrow that those documents are actually in Eleuthera, then I'll make plans for the end of next week to go. No concrete work yet. So, there's nothing I can do. And then September is going to be or it's just going to start as a busy month. We'll end with doing that. We'll get back. I don't even know if we'll have the funds from that yet, so we'll have to continue working on getting the funds from that. And then let's see, our son's getting married in the middle of the month. I've got a roof to do in the latter part of the month. I got some reconstruction stuff at my parents' place. So September and October are just going to be flat out build, 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 go, 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 nonstop. So I kind of look at this boring time as being like, it doesn't work that way, but you're doing nothing great, wonderful. There'll be time. Unfortunately, resting isn't a, what's the right word? Quantified thing. You can't rest for, weeks and weeks and then go crazy. But that's how it's going to be. So I guess things are moving forward. I hope.